So I have complained before about Colin and my job, because we work at the same job, censoring all of the bathroom graffiti. They did it again. I know. I know. It's very upsetting, because there are some great pieces of artwork in there. There are many bathrooms at my job, by the way. It's a big place.
Mm-hmm.
But it gave me the idea that we should... Every time you go to Jetpack, right, they have that basket of free stickers you can take with every purchase, and I get a sticker every time I go in there. I have so many Jetpack stickers, and I think I've only used one in my life. I think we need to occupy Censored Workplace with Jetpack stickers.
And our stickers.
No.
Yes.
Too many people know about our show. It's not okay. But we can occupy Censored Workplace with Jetpack stickers.
If you let me in, if you find, let me in through the gate at nighttime, I'll do it for you. I will be the fall guy.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
Welcome back to the Dime Comic Bros podcast. This is the final episode of No Nut November. All three of us are actually in the building again, finally, after I died. I have been resurrected.
You only died for a week. It was okay. You got over it.
Yeah, it was like a cold.
Yeah.
I came back as a nervous system in the kitchen first.
How come every time you guys have to leave the show, you die or something? But when I leave, I'm just fucking jerking it off, huh?
Same thing. You are Colin, Spencer, the dead one, and me, Jacob. Hello.
Hi.
We're here.
What's up?
We are here to talk about a lot of things. We have a full docket today. We are going to kick it off, though, with the great, the fantastic, dare I say, incredible movie. Please kill me.
The Incredibles came out in 2004, produced by Pixar Animation Studios, and released by the Walt Disney Company. It is written and directed by Bradthony Bird.
I think you mean it was directed by Edna Mode.
Oh my gosh.
It was.
Yeah. And everyone knows this movie, so this isn't exactly a necessary plot synopsis. The superheroes do stuff, and then the government says, no more superheroes, that's dumb. And then the superheroes are like, psych! And that's about it.
And Mommy saved Daddy.
This...
No.
So as the final episode of No Nut November, this is going to be a horny one. This was not planned, but everyone in the room had their first awakening because of Helen Parr. So my apologies in advance. The money's going to pile up quickly.
This is actually
We're going to try to be respectful, like that's going to happen.
This was my introduction to superhero anything. This
Really?
was my first superhero anything.
Because you were like, what, 7-ish?
Ish?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. It's too early in the day, I can't math.
It's almost noon.
Yeah, I've been waking up at 12:30 all week.
You were 9-ish.
Don't dox me.
You were 8-ish, actually.
Numbers!
Because
Numbers go...
I was 3. That makes you 8.
21?
What's 9 plus 10?
21. Anyways, you were saying this was your introduction to superheroes.
Yes, and since then, I've read many a comic book. 1 or 2. Because that's how numbers work.
True.
And I can't tell you how many times I was like, did the Incredibles steal this, or was this stolen from the Incredibles?
Oh my gosh.
It's true, though!
You did start in a very weird place in comics anyways.
I did.
So you started off with like the weirdest new reader friendly crap at the worst time.
It was the algorithm that fed me, and I was like, this sucks. But anyway, the point is, like, superheroes getting shut down and the government trying to control them. That's Civil War. So which one came first, chicken or the egg? I don't know. I don't care. But it's like things like that where I'm reading comics, I'm like, the Incredibles did that too.
This has been hailed as basically the best Fantastic Four movie, and I get the idea because the family unit, a couple of them have similar powers or whatever, but the dynamic is very different because the characters and power alignments are entirely off. But this is, I don't know if this was my first
3
superhero
out of
or
the
anything.
4 characters are the same powers.
Yeah, but they don't have the same relationship to each other. It's not the same.
It's almost the same.
It's very similar. Yeah, Mole Man.
It's just enough so that Pixar can't get sued.
Well, yeah, definitely when in terms of the Underminer, he's just Mole Man. I do hope we get to see Mole Man at some point on screen. I like him. Anyways, I don't remember if this was like my first superhero or anything, but it was definitely near the beginning. This is one of my formative memories of just existing is this movie, and then watching it on loop, and then.
Yep.
He
Sorry,
keeps touching me.
Sorry, Colin.
He keeps going like,
You
and this,
like
and
it.
then this, and then...
It was an accident.
He did not grab your cock.
Not yet.
No.
I remember pretending that like my parents' car was like the Incrediblemobile, and I would like pull the seat back and like just back when I had an imagination, before it was stolen from me, like Colin's foreskin.
A naive imagination.
True. What? We're going back to the foreskin jokes.
Don't like it.
This is like. I can't think of anybody between the ages of probably like 30 and 15 that this movie is not like a very early childhood memory. If you were raised by halfway competent parents. Like.
Can we talk about music?
Oh my gosh.
This is one of very few soundtracks I've considered getting like a copy of. Because
Really?
it's so good.
It's so brassy.
I love the brass.
This was one of Michael Giacchino's earliest works. I don't think it was his first, but he came into the game fucking like full force and has not let up since. He is still composing some of the best stuff, and he's only like 40. So I'm with you on that. I like how well it fits the aesthetic of the movie being set in like weird retro futurism, like 50s to 70s esque. The brass really fits with that because of how like that's what a lot of movie like soundtracks sounded like at the time, and it mixes really well with the more modern like orchestral stuff that he's doing in the background in like the quieter scenes. It's so good. It slaps.
It sounds like superhero music, but it's unique
but
to
it's
the Incredibles.
memorable.
Yes.
It's so like I could sing this on any day. Just it's in the back of my head all the time.
Anytime you pull a sick 360 no scope, you got da 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 da.
True.
Yeah.
Also, the movie, I don't remember the term for it, but it's something that older movies used to do a lot. It's when they time an action with like a sound beat, either in the soundtrack and they do that a lot in this movie. It's like there's a term for it.
It's so good.
And it's something that we've stopped
stuff.
kind of doing recently because like a lot of musical scores have been kind of toned down to some extent or another. And I like that this movie does it, but it doesn't overdo it. It's not like every single moment feels perfectly timed to a sound, but there's so much of it where like the music will like reinforce a gag, like it feels like when Helen goes balloon mode and then there's like a little musical jingle, it's like it makes for like really memorable moments.
I was thinking like the brass is going hard and then stops when the robot goes and then right on beat with the music.
Very nice.
Very cartoony.
Yes,
Love it.
but it's so good.
I want more of young Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl.
I would be so down, honestly.
That's my favorite part of the movie, honestly.
That's what Incredibles 2 should have done. They should have gone back in time.
I would have been very down with that.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
This is true. That I also agree. It's just the way that they frame the opening like 10 minutes of the movie is so cool. Not because it's like cool, but like I like it. I dig it.
I think it's a good introduction to how our characters are.
They're really good character-based introductions, and then they're just going for it. And also the costumes are dope as shit.
I was waiting for
They're
the costumes.
dynamic.
Oh my god, the costumes make me nut.
I didn't realize until the very last scene, like when it cuts to credits, that it zooms in on the eye on their suit and you can see the stitching. Like, that's a great detail. I always missed that. But the original Mr. Incredible suit.
That thing's hot.
It's so good.
Also
the Elastigirl suit.
Well, yes. The red colors. Family ensemble is definitely like anybody can recognize that for sure. But I do prefer the older ones. I like the textures more of the very fabric-y.
I like the color of blue.
Yeah, the blue and the black blend really well. So Jacob probably remembers what these are. So in Scouts and in various like church events, we had Pinewood derbies. Like you make cars.
That's exactly what that was. I had a Mr. Incredible mobile.
Hated those.
I also made Incredible at least twice. I might be able to find it if I root it around.
I did it once, and every other time was Batmobile.
Nice.
Every single year. Everyone's like, "Oh, Colin, what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Batmobile." And they're like, Nothing's
You know-
changed, huh? And I'm like, nope, shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm making my Batmobile.
You know what I did in 2015 before I learned that the movie was bad?
What movie was bad?
I did the Joker's purple Lamborghini.
No.
It looks horrible, and also it's not even a real purple. It's not a Lamborghini. I like the car. I like the Joker having a retarded purple car, but the movie wasn't out yet, so I didn't know that I was embarrassing myself ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that was the last one I did too. Anyways, moving on from toy cars.
The last one I did, before we move on, was You'll Never Get to Know. Moving on. Anyways.
It was the Wienermobile, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Fuck.
It was just
You're right.
2 pairs of wheels and you put your wiener on it. And they were
Oh
like,
my-
Colin, you can't ride the car.
No, it's because it wasn't heavy enough. They had to screw the lead weights into the bottom.
Oh my fucking
Wait, you had lead weights? We
Yeah.
always used pennies.
Different strokes for different folks.
Oh, Colin uses different strokes for sure.
I don't even know how to fucking stroke, dude.
He sits on his hand until it's numb, so it feels like somebody else.
Yes.
He
I
sits
have-
in a line with other people, and there's like a guy all the way at the front yelling, "Stroke! Stroke!
Oh my god.
Stroke!"
Back to The Incredibles. It still impresses me to this day, despite I like a lot of the current Pixar films. They're not all up my alley, but I really like them. Their current like body animation style, I'm not a huge fan of. They have a little bit of a homogenous look going on.
Yeah.
But the technology, like the water stuff and the hair textures, are off the charts great. But this movie still holds up, despite some like clear technical stuff here and there, like the cityscapes or whatever are really bland and like empty.
Yeah.
But the texture work on the costumes and the eyes and the hair. What?
I just wanted to, because you said eyes and the hair.
I'll take it. It's so. There is not a single moment where I watch it. I'm like, I am watching someone having computer rigged up fake digital characters and move them around. Like, it just feels like I'm watching a live action movie from a different universe where people are like that. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does look good.
It's so good. Mr. Incredible has no ass though, and that still pisses me off.
But
Even
he's
when-
a walking Dorito. The
Yeah.
muscles have to go somewhere.
Yeah, but do some fucking squats, dude. His wife has bigger legs than he does. Like, even when he's in peak
That's
hot
not
man mode.
fair.
I'm very
She
okay.
chooses her shape and size.
Yes, she does.
No.
That counts.
No.
For you too.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It's always bugged me. She looks in the mirror and is like, "Ugh," and it's like, you choose to look that way.
Well, to be fair,
I'm gonna hit you.
to speculate.
We're really talking about this, boys. And I'm not the one that started it for once.
It's fine. So I
This is a
think
good day.
what I think is that she, like anybody else, has like her body is designed to do certain things. Genes do what they do. But if she wants to change, she can. But it's supposed to be like a conscious or even
Yeah,
like,
she has to
like-
actually consciously do that. Her body just naturally runs
Right,
with
so,
the
like,
things that
she,
is.
she can change her genes.
I know.
Yes.
I don't know
No.
about that.
That
Nah.
No, she can morph her body. It's not the like
that's
chemicals.
not what I meant.
Oh. And then only one other thing on the horny train that I have to say. So when she stretches, does her skin maintain the same texture and like consistency, or is she like that counts as one? I'm posing a question, but I can't help but think about it because it's like, so does it feel rubbery or does she just feel like there's more flesh? I'm confused and
No,
I
it's
want
just flesh.
answers.
Why would it be rubbery? It's literally just her body.
I don't know, because it goes boing.
Well, yes, but
No, that's
also
you
it's
going
fictional
boing.
world. Of course, it's gonna be like, oh my. Of course, it's just gonna be like normal skin. It's just. Okay, so it's probably like stretched out skin, but not too stretched out. It's like if you
Yeah.
like.
Like
See
the
this
web.
I know what you're
between
doing.
your
Yeah, I know what
It's
you're
like
trying
that.
to do. There's something stretchy you could have used for that, but you chose not
The
to.
webbing between your fingers.
Yeah, there's that
Yeah,
too.
that. Anyways, I have
A dick.
like no complaints about this movie, even to this day. I can
No, this is
nitpick. I
My
can
favorite
nitpick.
Disney movie.
Yeah, like I
Has
can
been for a long time.
nitpick. And then there's a couple of moments in the third act where I'm like, this is going on a little bit, but like not. That's like a fleeting thought, and then the robot go burr.
Yeah.
I love how much they've added into the movie, like when you buy the DVD or something, because like you have the Jack shorts,
Yep.
which are fantastic, which work within the movie.
Yep.
And then you have the like really shitty animated cartoons of Frozone
Oh,
and
those were awesome.
Mr. Incredible with
Back
the
when
really like
DVDs
shitty
had special features.
with like really shitty bad guys, because like all the old cartoons had shitty bad guys, and also they had a commentary. The characters did their own commentary
remember that.
on the characters.
That was so
Everything was
good.
so fictional. It was like, wow, this
It's
is
high
so
effort.
cool. Yeah, it was so much effort. I feel like they used to do so much effort. Like,
Yeah,
Pixar would make
Pixar and
fake blue.
Yeah, they made the fake bloopers.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah, like that's just good stuff. I get why they don't do it now, because especially with how different their technical animation has to be. I get why that's just not really feasible anymore. But that was a quintessential Pixar moment when it's like, oh, they animated the bloopers of Stinky Pete trying to get women into Harvey Weinstein's room. I'm glad they edited that one out. That one did not age well. You can clip that out. But I had to say it.
I'm believing it. That's funny.
Wow. Yeah, it was like the one blooper from Toy Story 2 that's like, holy shit. He's like, I can hook you up. And it's like, holy fucking shit. That's not good. Barbie dolls. Anyways, this movie's great.
Does he actually say Weinstein though?
No,
Oh.
it's clearly,
It was a good analogy.
hey, I'm an industry professional. Why don't you come into my office and we can get you set up? It's like, holy shit, they were... Yeah, exactly. Love this movie. This is a good on a rainy day. This is good on a tired day. This is good on a sick day. This is good just with the boys.
Good comfort viewing.
Good.
Yes.
Come.
I could not
Oh.
believe.
You said the cum word.
Doesn't count. Doesn't mean shit. You know what? Fine. For all the coins I've thrown in,
Yeah,
it'll
exactly.
count. It'll count. But every one of those coins was valid.
We discussed while viewing this movie how adult it is. It
Yeah.
shows like shitty family relationships and a shitty marriage and cheating and divorce and like all the things. It's
It's really weird
messy.
because it simultaneously
Cheating?
it alludes to it. That's the thing
Okay,
is
no.
let me make my point because I have something on that. It simultaneously alludes to things and it also just says that like that could be the thing that they're thinking. It does it if you pull back, you can view him going on adventures to like feel like a man again as like that is so clearly him cheating and being dishonest with his wife. But if you want to view it in universe, she also was paranoid about that and then was like relieved that he was just being a dickhead and going to go fight robots.
Yes.
You know, like
No,
it does
I can tell the
both.
tension was meant to be like, this happens in family relationships sometimes where the father cheats. But like in the actual universe, what was happening was, yes, he was just trying to be a man, try to feel like a man again, feel young, and go on adventures. He wasn't cheating.
No, but he
at
also
all.
learned that was stupid and dumb because it
Yes.
gets them all in trouble, and that's him learning his lesson at the end of the movie is I need to like get help from people. He has his come to Jesus moment, and it's so that then they smash the action figures
I was
together.
saying more just like the dinner scene where
Yeah,
they're sitting
it
at
just-
the table.
they're just
How
upfront
was
about
your
it.
day, honey? And
Yeah,
everybody's
that's good.
being shitty with each other.
Yeah.
And it ends in chaos and noise that
Yeah.
like stresses you out as you're watching it because you've been there. You
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah, it's just because I think it's because it's portrayed so nonchalantly because like Pixar's been like they still do that with other things. They like all of their movies are like this, but they used to do it a lot more chill about it in a
Yeah.
sense. It was because the movie was covered in it. They like just ran with it. Like this movie has so many layers if you want to dissect it, but like you really don't have to because if you are like a 10-year-old kid, you can just watch it. But if you want to like
Which
get
I
into
did.
right, we all did. Or if
Yeah.
you want to be like me and be like, so I'm gonna read into all the clear socioeconomic parallels being made between X, Y, and Z. It's like, but you can do that. What? Because the movie clearly has more going on, but it doesn't require you to necessarily pick up on that to understand what the movie's doing, you know?
Well, speaking of socioeconomic themes,
Oh yeah, let's go, baby! We also watched Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
The race war.
I was talking about Andor, you asshole.
Wow. Well, this episode's gonna be all out of order anyway.
I was kidding. You can go whatever you want.
Yeah, so we all got to the theater. Sadly, we did not go together, but we finally...
I went with a patron.
You did. Colin went with our patron Jeff Lawrence because I guess they're dating now or whatever.
Yeah, we're best friends.
The movie picks up shortly after. Brain, where did you go? No. So the movie opens up with T'Challa being sick with an undisclosed illness, and then him passing, and then the fallout of that, and all the associated stuff. And then in the middle of that, the Fire Nation attacks. What? Let me make an Avatar joke.
A character-centric Marvel crawl again. I love it.
That was great. So that's the thing I wanted to, before getting into any of the actual stuff, which I'm sure we might disagree on. The thing with this movie that I was really paranoid about is I could go either way. I understand why people wanted to recast the character, but I also understand why, if the cast and the writer and director said, hey, we do have a story we could do about this, because like he was our friend as well, because Chadwick Boseman passed, and they wanted to like honor him in a very unique way. I was split on which one would be a good idea. You know, I'm not a creative person like that, so whatever. But I honestly think that they pulled it off a lot better than I was expecting it to. They were very respectful of the character and the person, but it didn't feel slapdash. The movie clearly was rewritten. Like there are two conflicting stories going on, and there's like clearly remnants from the original script that included T'Challa in it, but like the best parts of this movie are all the quiet stuff surrounding the death of a king, and I freaking loved that. I was really impressed. They made me like Shuri as a character on screen, which I haven't been liking her very much because she's written inconsistently. I liked her in Black Panther. I did not like her in Infinity War, and Endgame was like And she's had some outside of script shenanigans going on, so I wasn't sure if they were going to double down on using this actress, but she did really well with this movie.
So
3D printing go.
yes, I am one of those people that wish that they just recasted him, but at the same time, yes, I wish they just recasted him, but at the same time, I understand that he wasn't just another actor to these directors and people that were working on this movie. Like, everyone had like an actual relationship,
right?
And they had like actual feelings towards this human being that was their friends, and so like I understand why they went forward with what they did.
I mean, the end screen, the little in memoriam thing was it didn't, you know, it was to our friend.
Yes.
You know, the little cherry on top.
Yes.
It definitely feels like that's like the vibe.
Yes. But I do think that they did pretty well for what was going on. Like, I think the story was pretty good. I think I followed everything really well, and it was very enjoyable. I think the thing I loved the most about this movie was getting to see
Flappy wings on feet.
Yes, but also like I'm gonna call it Atlantis because I can't remember how to say it. Yeah, Talokan.
Yeah. I agree.
The capital city. I love that. Also, like, it just looked very unique for a superhero. Like, it didn't look too grandiose. That's the thing. It didn't look too grandiose. They looked like they were, like, it was still big. There wasn't tons of lights, but it's still, like, this is our, like, country. This is just our home. It's that we are all connected in and as family. And also that, like, I brought the sun to my people. I'm like, whoa! This is some mythology shit. That's so cool.
I think that's the thing that I had some trust that it would work out well. I think it's one of the smartest decisions this movie made was not trying to do a direct version of Atlantis from the comics because it will just draw Aquaman parallels.
Yes.
Instead, it keeps the spirit of what it is and a lot of the technical stuff, but it changes it, and it also makes a much richer world. This is, instead of it being Atlantis, a fake place in a fake non-country with a really like, there's nothing. Atlantis in DC and Marvel in the comics is just kind of like generic, which is fine, but they decided to go with a specific culture and infuse that into it with like,
I think that's the best way to make
it's really cool.
It's characters.
It's similar to what they did with Wakanda, and instead of it just being like futurism, like they did like Afrofuturism, and it works really well. And the fact that there's like both parts of the conflict feel equally developed and like invested in by the filmmakers is really, really cool.
It was cool that it was a Peruvian colony, or like lost Peruvian civilization.
Yeah, it's Incas, Aztec stuff in general. It's like Southern America
history that dropped off and fell into ocean and
Yeah.
lost time or whatever.
It's also
Very cool.
I like that they were just like a small sect of people that became big. They weren't just already like a sunken city.
That was nice as well. It made it feel less. The MCU in particular has been having this problem for a while now, which I think everyone's getting a little tired of. So actually there were a bajillion heroes before Iron Man, and also we have another lost another non-government organization that's hiding in the shadows. It's like this didn't feel like, oh my gosh, there's an entire other massive country. It's a small group of people. Like, it's big, but it's not even a quarter of the size of Wakanda. It's still pretty small by comparison.
Yes, but the reason what makes them so powerful too, or like, I think how do I say this? They're so worried about like their city being taken over, but like he's literally said, Namor has literally said that like anyone who tries to go under without like a suit or anything, like they're going to get crushed by like the pressure of the CM. Like, why are you so scared about people coming? It's going to be so difficult for them to actually do that.
I think that was the thing that really put not the nail in the coffin in a bad way, but in the good way for me was I like how they utilized Namor and how they adapted his character and how well he works in this movie, about as on tier with Killmonger-ish. They're different, but they have a lot of similarities, and I think obviously they were very conscious of that because they go over very similar issues, and they're in relations to different characters. They didn't just do a retread of Killmonger, but for Shuri, it's different, but it has tinges of what came before, and that worked really well for me.
I want to rewatch Black Panther again because I forgot how much I liked Killmonger.
Killmonger's so good. I was hoping we would get a cameo from Michael B. Jordan, and his scene was like a showstopper.
I loved that. Theater. I love that. Like, out of all her relatives that she saw, it was him.
That was the thing that when they did that was when I realized I have bought into Shuri's arc in this movie, and I'm like in. I wasn't earlier in the movie. I was a little hesitant because the way that she's like directed and the way that the actress plays it, like, she expresses her rage in a very different way than what I'm used to. So it's a little bit harder to relate to and like understand just because different people are different. And once they get to that point...
How did she express her rage? Just to follow you.
So you can cut this out, but like the quiet simmering rage of black women is like a very strong thing. Like, it's the way that they express themselves is very different because of like a whole bunch of stuff. But like, she's been socialized in a way to like not be that over the top. Like, even though they're in a very kind of progressive country, they're also a monarchy, which is bad and cringe. So there's still a lot of social expectations and stuff. And because she is basically, by their terms, an atheist, because she's so buried in the science of stuff, she is so kind of disconnected from other people and from her relatives, other than T'Challa, who's no longer there.
Okay, I think she'd actually keep some of that in.
Yeah,
because the reason why I asked you about that is because I disagree with you. Not disagree. I don't relate in the same way that you do about this, because that like quiet simmering, like being disconnected from like the people, that is something I very much like dig into. I know you're not saying that you don't.
No, I know.
I think that's what I hate to say it, but I like Shuri now.
Yeah.
And I know for like a couple of like recordings ago,
I'm so happy for you.
a couple of recordings. No, I do not see her like that at all. She reminds me of Emma now, my cousin.
I can see that.
But like I very hold on, you're stealing the spotlight, this whole like topic right now. I really enjoyed her character now because of the quiet, like, simmering rage, like that you said, and the feeling of being disconnected and like not knowing for sure if this whole religion is real or not. It can be so disheartening, and like you see everyone. Like, they're all doing the right tradition, they're all doing the right things, the right steps to get to the right places, and everyone's like, feeling these things, but you're not. Like, that's how she's feeling, and like, I relate a lot, which was very scary to see in a character I don't like. And then while watching this movie, I'm like, shit, is she getting like an Ahsoka like arc that like people don't like her? And now she's getting better. I'm digging it. I really like her as the Black Panther now.
Yeah, that was the linchpin for me when it's 2/3 of the way through the movie when they hit the point where it's like, oh, so she went in with vengeance in her heart. She is
Yeah.
not in a good place, and
No.
that's why she's not going to be the queen. She's going to be the Black Panther, but like
yes.
also my boy M'Baku is going to be king. I'm
That'd
so
be
happy.
sick.
I'm so happy about
I
that.
love that. I love that he came. I come to challenge for them.
Their dynamic is great, despite how little screen time it gets. It just the thing.
I do like their dynamic a lot.
It's
because
really good.
It seems like an older brother stepping
Kinda.
up and
It's
hanging
like
out.
your older brother's bestie, but like your older brother died. Kinda. It's
Kind
a
of,
weird.
yeah.
It's a weird relationship, and I like that. The age gap makes it work really well.
Yeah.
But that was the thing with her was as the movie's going on, I'm like, I get what they're trying to make me feel. I'm not 100% there, but they're definitely doing like the legwork, and then they hit the point where she's like, she's going sicko mode, and she's going in with the wrong intentions, and she doesn't put on, I know, suit symbology. She doesn't put on the simple black and silver one. She puts on the one that looks like Killmonger's suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm down. I see what they're
Yes,
doing. And
yes.
then the conflict is resolved by the end of the third act, but it doesn't feel like they just pulled out like a redemption arc out of nowhere, because she doesn't do anything hyper questionable yet.
Yes.
And they also don't try to redeem Namor or be weird about that. Like,
No,
they
they do a pretty
maintain
good
his
job.
villainy, but he's understandable. It's not...
And they left him alive so we can reuse him.
Oh,
Yes, thank
yeah.
God. I was so scared. I was so scared they're gonna kill him.
No, there's no way. I just...
Because
Yeah.
that
Fantastic Four, baby.
yeah,
Let's go.
Namor is really good in this. But like, hold
So-
on, one character that did not need to be in this movie at all, Ironheart. Literally, she did nothing for the entire movie except for be the scientist.
She was a human MacGuffin, but I did like her though. I don't
I did
like the
not.
suit, which I'm glad that they got rid of the suit. She's gonna have to make another one.
The
for the whole
reason
thing.
why was dumb.
Oh, for sure. But
Hey, you can't have this because you have your own TV show coming up. We gotta keep this.
You can't have this because it has
budget.
yeah.
I don't know. I get what you mean, but so Riri Williams in the comics is kind of mid most of the time. She's not great. She's not abysmal like some people like going on about, but like I liked watching her in this. I agree, she's very much definitely like, okay, so we need to set up another character for something else for later, but it doesn't take over the movie for me. At least it doesn't feel like it. It certainly takes some attention away and some screen time, but like I didn't not enjoy it. I like
Just
their
felt
chemistry.
like a heartless inclusion, like a not a cameo, but pretty close, like a cheap cameo.
See, that's what I would say
guess.
more so about the stuff with Ross and what's her name? The
Yeah,
new mean lady. Who I love that's his ex-wife. That's great.
Oh, that's his
Yeah.
ex-wife?
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's his ex-wife.
Damn!
So
Damn, he
on
got some.
on the one hand, I really like their
Pulled
chemistry.
out the handcuffs too.
Yes.
Damn.
I really like their chemistry, and I understand why general MCU world building they kind of needed to include stuff like that, because it's clearly that's world building for other projects. I get that. It could have very much so been reduced out of the movie though. I'm not gonna complain too much about it because I really like Brain, Martin Freeman. Like it felt like a good 10 minutes of footage where it's like, I get you wrote that this was necessary, but you probably could have found a way to do it without keeping it a little bit more contained to Wakanda. And because that's the stuff in the movie that feels the most thought out and like high effort is the quieter stuff, the ceremonies and the conversations and stuff. And it's like, you could have pulled it in a little bit closer, but that's the thing with the third act that I did not expect, honestly, is, so, you know, at the middle of the movie, the hour and a half point, basically, where Namor goes sicko mode on the Wakandan capital, which feels like a third act battle a little bit, and then, the movie shifts over and whatever. I like that the third act battle, well, yes, a big CGI fest. One, it was pretty solid. And then two,
I was gonna.
not
People
necessarily,
kept taking off their masks too much.
that was annoying. The not necessarily in terms of like texture, visual quality. Yeah, clearly it had some issues. I mean, like camera work and like how it was shot was very.
Oh,
It was
okay.
followable.
Yeah,
the action itself was
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that it was like a fight on a boat instead of like, oh look, whole country fight. I like that it was smaller than the battle in the middle of the movie.
I did not like Big Boat. Big Boat came out of nowhere for no reason, and it looked dumb. It looked like a freaking anvil that was floating.
Disagree. Big Bo was fun because Big Bo fight fish people. Big Bo.
I agree
It
with
came
Colin.
out of nowhere.
Big Bo. Big Bo. What do you want from me, Big Bo?
I only have a couple more points. I'm just gonna breeze through. One,
Oh, boy.
the fact that they made Namor's winged feet sound like a rattlesnake was fucking awesome. They don't make fun of him at all in this movie. There's one offhanded comment about like, this motherfucker's got wings on his feet. What the hell?
Fish man.
But that's it. It's
She ripped a wing off and it sounded so crunchy.
that was
That's why I was scared because
nasty.
of that.
Yeah.
That's why I was scared. I was
this
gonna die.
movie. As I would definitely say, this is peak Phase 4 by a long shot. Like by a long shot. But also like, this feels like a cohesive project. It feels like they actually got to follow through on what they wanted to do, and with minimal large interference stuff, you know? It doesn't feel like they were forced to kill a villain, or like, there were rumors that there was a Doctor Doom cameo that had been shot for like a post-credit scene, and then they cut it, and it's like this, it feels...
So this tops out over Doctor Strange.
Yes.
How many post-credit scenes are there?
It's just the mid-credit scene. It's just the...
Okay, just the one. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I know you say you have only a few things.
That was like my last one. This is... It feels like it's gotten tied up in a bow. There's some issues to critique, but like it feels like a actual... It feels like a movie is such a bad thing to say, but like it feels like a movie. It feels like a full project.
I really enjoy how they handled the entire Atlantean everything. Like so, like when we were introduced to them, they're sirens. That was awesome. I didn't expect that. They were sirens and they were scary and they were jumping around. I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. I want more like horror elements or like these characters. Like it would make sense for them to be terrifying. They're underwater. The sea is terrifying because it's dark. It's pressurized. The things that are down there are faster than you.
Yeah.
You are nothing. You're nothing compared to them.
We haven't explored as much of the ocean as we have the moon.
Yes, and it's terrifying. And I love the fact that they just like stayed on that and like kept on with like things being dark. Like when we saw Shuri go to say the
Talokan.
I like the names also. I really like their language. I like their names, and I like that their written language are like pictures too.
I love
that.
It's an actual language too. That's not.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
don't remember the name, but it's they. So the fact that the half of this movie takes place in subtitles. Obviously, the Wakandans are speaking a particular dialect of one African language. I don't remember the name of. But like the language that they're speaking in Talokan is a real language. Like that's a real language. I
love that.
There was
It's
a blurb in the theater before the movie started with the director that said there are 7 languages in this movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because there's those two. There's English.
French.
They said and then
Okay, so where's Haiti located?
South America.
South America, but they speak French.
Yes.
yes, because they were colonized by the French.
I didn't know that. That's
That's-
clever.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call that clever. That's just like what life is like.
No,
But, yeah.
okay, I didn't mean to say clever.
No, I know what
But
you
you know
mean.
what I mean. I mean, I am unaware of
It
things.
feels well researched and very
Yes,
well thought out.
there we go. Thank you for helping clarify
Even the
what I
things
meant.
in this movie that I thought were like a little cringy, they don't feel like they were not well intended. Like, very weird thing to criticize, I know. I don't despise Ironheart's armor, but the fact that the top of her helmet low-key looks like dreads is frankly, if like a white dude designed that costume, I would be saying yikes. But it wasn't. Like, this was like
I didn't even notice that.
it just the way that it's kind of shaped, like they look like her dreads. And like I get the idea, it just doesn't work out that well. But like none of the weird shit that kind of comes across funny in this feels like it was done out of a lack of like understanding. It was just like they made a mistake type deal, you know? I don't remember who the fuck I was talking to about this. But there's something where it's like the one of the key indicators of like empathy in a piece of art is when like you can see other things that you're not familiar with and you can still appreciate it, like simultaneously in like a kind of a detached sense of like, I don't know if this is accurate, but like it kind of feels like it and I want to like look into it. And also like I can imagine if that was my culture, I would feel very like seen. And I think that that's what this movie does like really well. This actually feels like a bunch of different cultures coming together to make a fucking superhero movie, but like very genuinely with like so much work and research put into it. And also Namor pulls off a nose gauge. I never thought I'd say that in my life.
So I really love Namor's redesign. I love it. I love that it's not underwear, it's shorts. I love that he's just got more detail to him. He's not like over stylized like normal Marvel characters are. And
I mean, that would be to do that they would have to put him in a shirt to put all the lines on him.
Yes,
but like he has
or
so
give him
much.
tattoos.
True. I would have been fine with the tattoos, but I like that.
I like that he's not like a super jacked, ripped guy. I mean, when he moves around, like you see the muscles ripple in his back. I'm like, holy shit, he is a big dude. It's just he's not constantly flexing.
They don't. It's not about. It's the way that he's directed. He's not supposed to be. How I'm interpreting it is he's not. You're not supposed to be imposed on him because he is big physically. Like the way that they shoot M'Baku. Like Winston Duke is a big fucking dude, but like. He's also a bit of a softie. Like he's a goofball, and like that bleeds into the character. But like they shoot him in a way where he looks fucking huge. He's not that big actually. He's just big. But the way that they shoot Namor is like he's that big, but they shoot him. It's his presence. They actually. I think this is a first time performer, but like he just fills the room. He controls it in a way that is a little different than comic Namor from what I'm familiar with. Usually he's a little bit more like psycho, but like he feels. He's got some screws loose, but you actually understand what he's trying to do, and you're like, I get it.
I was talking to Jeff about this, and as we were talking about this, I believe, from gathering from what Jeff was saying, I am to believe that he's read comics with Namor, because Jeff has read a shit ton of comics.
Yeah.
And he was saying that this is very different from Namor in the comics, but, like, in a very good way.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like... top tier.
It's an adaptation.
Yeah.
You know who else fills the room?
My fat cock. Daniel Warren Johnson's art.
Namely, God.
Yes.
With a double page spread of God.
Yes. So moving on.
Yours was better. His
is always better. He's always better at transitions. So moving on to Do a Powerbomb issue 6 of 7.
Watch me transition next week.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
I'm down.
What kind of transition are we talking about?
What do you think? Fuck. Brain.
You have something to tell us?
He always has something to
I'm
tell
going to
us.
be clean shaven next week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, are you?
So we finally get the final fight to end all fights. The final conflict. They win the tournament by not really winning the tournament. And then... Sort of. This is like the finale. And then it's like... Psych, nope, you're gonna go fight God now.
You're here to wrestle with God!
It was so funny because last issue we were like, they lost the tournament and we have 2 issues yet left. Like, what's gonna happen? And the winners killed themselves. They killed each other.
That was rough to watch.
That was so funny.
That was started in the last issue, which was nice.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a direct continuation off the last one. There's no jump between them.
No.
And I like how well they didn't feel the need to sit in the resolution of the emotional conflict of like, oh my gosh, you literally killed mom, you know?
I like how she was like accepting it. She's like, you're still dad.
Right, like that
I understand.
I'm sure once they either bring back their mom, the mom, or they don't, which I think they're not going to, but like when we get to the actual finale, I'm sure they'll linger in that stuff a bit more because it won't be action heavy. Mm-hmm. But like, that's the one thing with Murder Falcon that I think I wasn't super down on. It was a few years ago, so he's gotten better, but I felt like he kind of wallowed in the emotions a tiny bit too much in that book, just like a couple pages too much. And I get it. Like, I'm not going to argue with it. It's how he was expressing his feelings or whatever. But like in this book, I like how they just radical acceptance and like moving on. Like there are other things to be dealt with at the moment. Mm-hmm. Like this isn't...
There's bigger fish to fry.
Exactly. God.
Literally God. And...
I can't believe... I texted you guys when I was reading this, and it was like, I read the issue, I'm like, this is so cool, and then the final 2 pages is like, so I can't actually bring your mom back, but I know someone who can. I'm like, oh God, where are we going? And then it's like...
You said it!
And then it's like, so you're gonna fight the big man, and then he's just chilling in a ring, just like, yeah, come fight me, you stupid pieces of shit. Like, what the fuck is this turned into?
My favorite part was how we got to see a flashback with her mom, because she was a very, very wow with her personality.
I think.
It was actually very wholesome,
yes.
But the wholesome is really what gets me going.
Okay. I agree with Colin. It was good stuff. This issue definitely felt short. I said that I think about the last issue as well. I'm not sure if it's just the pacing or if the page count's actually shorter or if I'm just crazy.
I think it's the pacing. These books go fast.
True. Except it was like issue 3 or 4 felt pretty long. That was like nothing but fight.
The training montage?
I think it was the one after the training montage. Whatever.
This book is going to flow quickly as a book.
Yes.
A whole collected trade.
I'm so excited to get the collected trade.
Yes.
I want it so much.
I am very interested. I'm more interested in this finale than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah.
Because
now we're fucking fighting God. Oh, fuck, this is my shit. This is my shit.
Not necessarily because I care who wins the fight. I think it's more so going to be interesting what they do with it. Like, what Daniel wants to say with the fight and how the characters interact, whether or not they bring back the mom, or if they choose not to because they need to move on. Like, all that stuff. That's what I'm, like, really interested in, is, like, how does Daniel Warren Johnson view life?
Mom went to heaven and they're going to leave her there.
Probably. Something like that, I'm sure. It's just, that's what I really like about Daniel's books, is like the action's great and they're so much fun. And then at the end, he's like, so I'm going to open up my heart real quick. You can go poke around and like look at how I view stuff real quick. And like, I really like that. And I think the next issue is going to be like top tier stuff.
Colin has a fart.
No, I'm holding in a shit.
That's nice.
Oh.
Any final thoughts on this issue?
The cover I got, I believe, is the original, the A cover. And it's pretty freaking dark.
Where is
It's Dad. I forget his name. With a big cobra, like, crawling around his skull and coming out his eyes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
I got the B cover. I will admit, I'm not a big fan of the B cover, but it was the only one they had left. And I mostly have the B covers for this series.
Me too.
Such as Life.
But I actually got the A cover this time.
That is a good
I
cover.
only have one B cover. Actually, I have one B cover and one C cover.
Yeah, because you got
C
like the pink like manga-esque one, right?
So
Yeah.
for the ape one, where they're fighting apes.
Oh yeah.
So I got the original. I have the original.
Right.
But I also got the other one that looked cool. It was like yellow and pink.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But the only one I have a B cover for, because I couldn't find the A cover, was the second issue.
Gotcha.
Sadly.
Any final thoughts on this issue?
I don't think so.
No, art was fantastic.
Very
Mommy
excited.
was mommy.
For the last issue. And then we got to figure out what ongoing we're going to cover next.
It's true. We're gonna have to find another miniseries to hop on.
Yes.
And or
We got 2 episodes. 1, Jailbreak.
10 and 11. So
I did not watch 11, but I will
So
talk
I'm
about
gonna
10.
say the meme and get it over with, so you guys can like actually roast me about it. I got like a little teary. I finally hit my breaking
fucking
point.
word.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is
I
because,
gave you so much shit about Black Panther.
and I didn't
Oh my
cry
gosh,
during
we
Black
didn't even
Panther.
talk about 2 things in Black Panther.
We don't have to talk about everything.
Whatever.
Fuck. Train of thought. I didn't like start blubbering, but like I got very moved by that speech. I was going ape shit.
When
Ape shit.
Andy Serkis was talking to everybody in the prison. Yes, very good.
I cannot hold it. I have to go shit.
Okay.
You guys can keep talking though.
No.
No, literally, because like
Yeah.
I have nothing to say other than if this whole place is meant to be able to have people that can work, why old man die? Make no sense. Why?
Because he was able to work when he got there. And he aged. And can't work no more.
No.
I was talking a couple episodes ago when we got into the prison. I was talking about how much I hate Kino, Andy Serkis' character, like because I can relate to the
Corporateness.
the conflict going on with his character. I follow, and I really like how much I hated him at first. And they made in 3 episodes, they made me like feel very bad for him being left behind. Like, I know it's a meme. I get moved by everything under the sun. I know, but like when they finally, he's been able to. He's finally not complacent, and he goes. So he's the lie effectively has been exposed. He goes, so either I'm gonna die here, or I'm gonna die trying to get out.
Yes.
And he knows either that he's gonna die on the way out, or he's. There's a part of me that thinks even if he knew they were on an island prison, he would have done it anyways. Like, even though he can't swim, I don't know if he knew he wasn't gonna actually be able to get out. The fact that he was willing to basically, not literally die for the cause, but like basically die for the cause and get stuck there while everyone else leaves, like actually sacrifice for all those other people he has never met. but because he has the capability and he's in the position to do something, he should and he does, was like good shit. This is peak fucking Star Wars. I'm sorry to keep saying it, but like this is like the best thing Disney Star Wars has been. This is on tier with Rogue One, probably above it. This is fucking goated shit.
The prison break was stressful, and that's good. I believe episode 10 ends with Andor getting to land, and it leaves off there. But then 11, he and a buddy find people with a ship, and they try to steal the ship, and the people catch them. But then they say, yeah, F the Empire too, man, and they release them just like that. That felt a little hokey. Like
That was a little much.
they just said, yeah, F the Empire, and oh, okay, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I feel like it's trying to pay off on the what's the phrase they used?
Midichlorians.
It's an announcement that they set up in like episode 4. Like the vault break on Aldani wasn't just them getting money. It was, it was a flare up to the galaxy of like, we're starting this now. Like we're out in the open. Let's fucking go. I get that that's what they're trying to pay off. But yeah, it felt like it went by a little quickly. They probably could have done a little bit more legwork there. It definitely felt like, I think 11 is the only episode where I'm like, we didn't get a lot of progress going anywhere, which is fine. One episode that feels like it could have been condensed a little bit. I'm not going to complain that much.
Daddy Skarsgård does some shady shit.
That was the other thing I wanted to say from episode 10 that I really loved is how much they're not trying to glorify his position.
Nope.
They're going like
he's a good guy that does bad things.
Yeah, like it's not
or a bad guy that does good things.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with him and with Saw, and eventually what Cassian ends up doing like in Rogue One is like it's not just the overly said phrase of like, you have to get your hands dirty, break some eggs, omelet, whatever. It's like to do this, you have to be willing to sacrifice stuff, and that sucks. But like eventually someone has to start making those calls, or it has to be like actually decided unanimously. And he's sacrificed everything. Like he is going to, I don't remember the specific phrase he said, but basically like he's not gonna be able to see the sunrise that they're making effectively.
Yep.
And it's like, but that you have to have people that'll do that. Otherwise, it's not gonna get off the ground. You have to have people facilitating stuff.
There was an intense scene. I knew it was intense, but I didn't have a complete grasp on it when Mom Mothma is talking with a banker and her husband's there, and I couldn't tell if it was like talking full-blown divorce or whatever, or if it was just a business decision that they couldn't agree on.
Yeah, I couldn't totally wrap my head around that one either. I like that almost every conversation she has with people is like 5 layers of code.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get a little lost in it, and I like that. It didn't feel like it was like a waste of time. It was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, there's a lot
It actually
going on
left
here.
it as a question. I also really liked that in episode 10, they're talking to the other banker about the fact that they needed basically additional resources to be able to move her money disguised and whatever, and they're consulting someone who they don't like, who they are not getting on board with the cause, but they need to use as resources. And he's like, basically, I will do it, but your kid's gonna marry my kid. Like they're just jumping right in on the
That was the same conversation I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I like that they're not straying away from the earlier mentioned point in like 2 episodes ago where it's like Mom Mothma was married when she was like 15. Like they're addressing the really weird systemic like government shit where they're like, yeah, so like we just like marry off our kids for like trade deals and stuff, and they've been doing government forever. Like when we watch the prequels, we're thinking about Padme, we're like, yay, yay, girl bossing. But then a little bit, it's like if you portray it a little differently, it's like that's actually kind of horrifying. She was a queen at 14.
Yep.
That's fucked. She did a good job, but also that's fucked. And I like how they're not forgetting that aspect. Like Mon Mothma is fucking up her family. No matter which choices she makes, she is screwing up her personal life.
Her kid's a little shit anyways.
She is, by all means. But I don't think that means that she should get married off to a 14-year-old boy.
No, probably not.
No. I don't know. I dig it. I am definitely looking forward to the finale.
Are we up? We're there?
Yeah.
One more episode?
One more episode.
Holy crap!
Yep, one more episode, and that's gonna be like, I think it's gonna be 18 months until the next season.
I did not realize it was the end already.
Yep, 12 episodes.
I thought it was like 18 episodes.
So
It was
no, 12. Thankfully, 12. 12's we're hitting a good spot here.
Yes.
So the thing that you had mentioned a few episodes ago was that Cassian was feeling very passive to you, and a lot of it was stuff happening to him. He's getting dragged into stuff, and then the prison break is where he goes, "Nah, fuck it, we ball. I'm in. Let's go."
Yeah.
It's so. Oh, it's good.
Yes.
I told you it's gonna happen. Very good stuff. I'm looking forward to watching Rogue One after this show to see how my feelings have evolved a little bit. How much additional meaning they've imbued into his very limited dialogue in that damn movie.
Yes.
Diego Luna is fucking awesome in this role.
I do not
Everyone
remember
is
him in that movie.
Really?
At all.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was like the standout for me anyways. But like
Interesting.
everybody in this show is phenomenal. There's not like a weak link. I guess you could say children, but like they're still fine. Like there is nobody that is not giving it everything. And I like the fact, going back to Father Skarsgård, I like the fact that the way he's discussing his role is like he's going to fall. But by the time this show is over, he's gonna be dead, obviously.
The loser Imperial guy that lives with his mom is kind of where I lose interest. It's like, oh, we're back to here. I can check my phone.
That's fair. I think they're setting him up for a big role in season 2.
It's been a long setup, though.
For sure. I agree. I think it's just the way the screen time is split up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought when at the beginning of this season, I thought he was going to be the antagonist for the end of this season, but I definitely think they're setting him. He's going to be like going like full Nazi mode next season. He's just going to be like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to go find you, and I'm going to like rip your entrails out. It's going to be very rough.
Do it, no boss. All right, back to Daddy Skarsgård.
I liked that his speech in episode 10 and like all that stuff about, you know, he's lighting the fire that'll burn the First Order down. You know, like all that stuff. It's explaining why we don't know about his character and any of the other stuff. Aside from, obviously, it is a new character, but it's like, he's setting up a lot of things. He's kind of the architect of the Empire, of the rebellion, but someone's going to have to collectively take his place. We're going to have Bon Mothma stepping up, we're going to get Bail Organa, and all the other stuff going on. Like, he is clearly going to get taken out by the time this is over, and it explains why that's going to be a thing. I like that. You can feel the difference between what the rebellion is now versus where it is in Rogue One, and even the little hints that we got in like Kenobi. Like I like how they're showing the development of it. It feels very much so like the cooler stuff in Legends that I liked was all the stuff around like the Force Unleashed and the rebellion stuff. It was very hammy and over the top, but like I like that.
When you said Mom Mothma is going to step up, you mean step up on you, right?
True. I'm down. I'm okay with that.
Jetpack Comics and Games are our friends. As previously mentioned, that you get a free sticker with every purchase, and that is a good reason to go check them out.
They have a lot of
Downtown
stickers.
Rochester, New Hampshire. There's a great variety of stickers.
It's true.
They are our supply of comic book needs and most other nerd needs.
Yes. They have round stickers, they have square stickers, they have rectangle stickers.
Yes.
There's probably oval stickers. There's a lot of stickers.
They have bumper stickers.
They do have bumper stickers.
Speaking of stickers, you can go over to patreon.com/dimecomicbros and sign up under one of the 3 tiers, and you get a free sort of sticker from us advertising our show. Stickers are cool. I may be an addict to stickers.
We do have a lot of sticker designs.
I have an envelope
Wow.
full of stickers
That's
to
nice.
just plaster anywhere.
Yeah. So if you want to support this show financially, it'd be greatly appreciated. We do have 2 patrons right now. We have Jeff Lawrence and then Caitlin. They help keep the lights on. They get lots of stickers.
Yep.
If you want other rewards as well, like sketches and commissions done by Colin, getting your name mentioned on all of our episodes, early access to this podcast, as well as our other podcast, Dime Gaming Bros, which comes out once a month, exclusive access to Dime Comic Bros and Dime Gaming Bros Happy Hour, where we crack open a beer, talk mad shit about stuff, just random nonsense most of the time. Sometimes it'll be one of us just having a rant about stuff. It's a lot of stuff, you know?
Yes.
That is exclusively on our Patreon, so go ahead and check that out. Follow our social medias for updates and clues as to what we got going on in future episodes. Colin is still being the poo-poo man, so I think we are out. Next week, we will be going over a lot of news. There's a lot of stuff that's already collected so far. We will be
Excellent.
talking about the finale of Andor Season 1.
And 2 talking points, I believe.
Yeah, we'll actually be able to get out some of our own personal baggage.
Whoa.
It's going to be so much fun. So we will see you then. Thanks for listening, you degenerative scum.
More beans? Anybody? Beans?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I was waiting for mine to cool down to drink it in the first place. The coffee man.
Coffee bean, man.
Oh, giddy.